Hello, this is Chris Duncan at Find Your Focus Photograph Education, and today we're going to show you how we put together this magazine layout that I recently photographed. Also have a blog post on this. Go to findyourfocus.org/blog and you can see how we lit and designed this concept. Here is the finished piece, even with the ad copy and everything on it. I did not do that. The editors of the magazine did that, but we had to come up with the concept and know how to photograph it. So there it is finished, and you can see I already have my layers turned on. I'm going to turn off all these layers, and this was my first image, was her at the counter. And I wanted to start with that and not start with the clean one because I knew she was going to be picking up that pitcher of juice and pouring it. And just wanted to make sure that everything was where it needed to be. So when you're going to do a photograph like this, a little forethought goes into it. First of all, you need to be on a tripod so it's very still and your camera doesn't move. I also recommend using a shutter release just to minimize any movement on your camera. Just make it so much easier putting it together. Second, you need to have your lighting and your exposure set. You can't be moving lights around or changing your exposure or any of that. It all has to look like it was one photograph put together. And another thing is to know your finished layout. This is 11 by 17, so there will be some cropping in this as well. So this is my first exposure. Had her just standing there, took a few of these, picked the ones we liked. And then I brought in all the other the other three images of her at the computer, at the table, and then her walking out. I'll go back to the finished one here so you can see. Now before we started, I made sure the stool was where she could sit in it and the computer didn't move. Also made sure that chair by the table was where she could get in it without moving the chair. It just makes it so much easier when I start putting this together. So here's what I would do. I would grab this second image, use my move tool, and just drag it onto the first. I'm not going to do all that for sake of time. And then it's simply just layer masking. Let me delete that layer mask. And I'm going to go and delete all the layer mask as we go along, so this will be nice. So I have all these images: reading, walking, computer, and the background image. So let's go to this computer layer. I can do two things. I can mask it and then brush everything out, but it's easier to just brush in what I want. So I'm going to hold the Option key and click Layer Mask, and it hides it. Now I just take a white brush and 100% opacity, feather it a little bit, and I just can start brushing her back in. Make sure you hit the countertop so that reflection's there, but you can see how that stool doesn't move. That made it really nice and easy. Okay, simple as that. I'm going to go to our walking one, turn that on. I'm going to hit Option again, put a new layer mask. It makes it black. And then I just brush her in right here. Look how simple that is. Nothing, it looks just boop, really simple. Well, the key to this is making sure your lighting is where you need it, and your exposure is good, and you're using a tripod. Now I'll go to the reading, same thing, Option key, layer mask, and brush her in. Look how that chair doesn't move. So that took some forethought. Make sure the book wasn't there. Some of these you need to hit the ground so the shadows look believable and all that. You don't want to miss any of those areas. Like that. It was that easy. Saved it as a PSD, sent it to my editor. The editor crops it to fit the logo. Then they do their artwork that shows how to have a healthy life. So make sure you read that other blog, show you how I lit this, kind of the idea that went into lighting it and designing it. And hope this video helps you see how we put it together. And this is a great thing to do with lots of different things. Keys are lighting and exposure has to be the same throughout, and your camera needs to be in a tripod. That'll make your blending that much easier. Anyway, this is Chris Duncan at Find Your Focus Photographic Education. Thanks for watching and happy creating.